Hello classmates and teaching staff. This is going to be my video on overpopulation and I hope you guys enjoy. So as we all know, our planet Earth has only a limited amount of resources and these resources are shared among the billions and billions of humans currently alive. That is not to say that these resources are shared equally among all countries. According to the United States Census Bureau, there are certain countries which are more populous than others, such as China, India, and America being the top three. Overall, the population is at about 7.6 billion, and the massive amount of people call for massive amounts of resources to be consumed. And these countries at the top are always coming into conflict with each other who gets to control these resources. And unfortunately, overpopulation is the root to many of the problems currently plaguing our economy, environment, and many other sectors. So I want to use China as a prime example of a country who has been greatly affected by overpopulation. China, over the past 100 years, has had to implement certain policies that prevents their population from growing even bigger and bigger. I don't know if many of you know, but the one-child policy that was implemented around the late 1900s only allowed a couple to have one child. Due to this, the family dynamic in China completely changed, and I feel like this was something that they felt was a necessary measure, and at times it was extreme, but at times it's exactly what needed to be done. So I really want to stress how big of an issue overpopulation really is, and I wanted to do this in a way that related it to all the different topics in our class, just because if I'm able to relate it to all the topics, it proves that this is a problem that we must solve. And I'm not sure if it could be done through information technology, but I'm going to list some ways afterwards. So an example would be food waste will increase, and not just food waste, but trash in general. It's going to increase in size, and we don't really, currently we don't even have a solution for that. Education is going to be harder to obtain, and what I mean by that is it's going to be more competitive to get into schools now that there's going to be a lot more population size. And also just in the smaller scope, classroom sizes were already big in general, and if there's more kids that are being born, then we also need to create new schools, and to create new schools we need to dislocate some of the animals that are there, which means habitat loss, deforestation, and it leads these endangered species to become extinct, and that's another huge issue that we don't even look at. Overpopulation also leads to pollution, which leads to increased temperature, which leads to the melting ice caps, which leads to more melted water in our oceans, which leads to coastlines being pushed back, so that's another issue. And then even on top of that, water will be more scarce and expensive due to the growing demand and declining supply. There will be less energy to go around due to fossil fuel use, and we already have a problem with limited fossil fuel resources. So it's a huge issue. Like careers will be more competitive, which means that there will be more unemployment, there will be more poverty, and sometimes this leads to people being like depressed and having mental disorders. So I feel like overpopulation captures the entire scope of all these topics that we're talking about, because it is literally what affects a lot of these issues. If there wasn't so huge of a population, I don't think these issues would be as large as they are. I mean, I don't want to, downplay any of them. Populations are just going to continue to grow. It's inevitable. It's something that's going to happen. But there are certain ways through information technology that we can help alleviate some of these issues that are revolving around overpopulation. So there's things like water desalination, there's telemedicine, vertical and rooftop farming like we discussed in class, energy efficient buildings, creating them will help prevent like our use of fossil fuels hopefully in the future. Developing better contraceptives and condoms, all these factors can help prevent overpopulation from becoming such a huge issue. Even though it already is, we can help mitigate some of that through these information technology solutions.